angels willing to hold us in their arms. When our worth of stone or ashes, and we both passed on. Let forever mean forever and carry on.
Good afternoon. So you noticed I was like a minute or a minute and a half or so behind. I went to go click the button that makes all the magic happen, and my software crashed. So it was all grayed out. It wouldn't let me do anything. So I had to in-task the program and get it brought back up. So that would be my ringtone. By the way, let me shut this stupid thing off. Yes, I have the emergency alert, broadcast alert for a ringtone, just because I like cruel jokes to myself. Anyway, wow. Been trying to keep on top of the information today. Some of it is easily forthcoming, some of it is not. I'm going to double down on what I've been saying. Get ready. I think it's about to get real down in Venezuela. Part of the discernment, or what I use for discernment in what's going on down there, is who it is that's talking and what's being said, but even more importantly, who's not talking. We've had a lot of loudmouths with this whole Venezuela deal, and right now, at this particular moment, they're being quiet. That's concerning. That's extremely concerning. So we're going to talk about a couple of things today for the monologue that kind of is interwoven with that or anything else that you may see on the horizon. We're going to talk about not just prepping, but what is enough prepping, what is too much prepping, and even more importantly so, what is fear, what is too much fear. It can be a fine balance in between the two. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Let me take care of the housework. We are on a new month with the Amazon affiliate program. So I know Evil had purchased some things. I don't think they're all up here yet because I'm only showing 2 items shipped, and I'm showing 8 items ordered. But so far for the month, we're at $2.56. So thank you, Evil, and anybody that uses our Amazon affiliate link. You can find that link in the description of the video, or you can go to thewatchmannews.com, and we have search boxes here, and you can put in whatever it is that you're looking for, and click go. It will take you to Amazon. It will have our little link up top, so it doesn't matter how many times you click around, it will still give us credit for the sale, and it's much appreciated. One other thing that I do want to point out, we do have a recommended section that if you click on that, it will take you to a page on the website. And we got to update this. I really need to spend some time on the website. These are all items that we have and that we recommend. They're all really good items and couldn't recommend them anymore. And so I thought we would put a section on the website. That book series, by the way, is just phenomenal. But they're all items that we own, and like I say, we recommend them. We stand behind them. So kind of gives you an idea of different items that you could get that somebody's actually got hands-on experience with. And like I say, we recommend. So anyway, that is that. We are not monetized on YouTube, and we voluntarily demonetized some time ago, and so this is how we make our extra income, is through our Amazon affiliate link, or of course we do have the donate link, and you can either go to thewatchmannews.com/donate. that will take you to the same place, or you can just go to the website, thewatchmannews.com, click the donate button, and that will redirect you to our PayPal donate page. And it does come up Transforming Disabilities, but it does say purpose the Watchman News donation. So again, not required, but much, much, much appreciated. Anyway, now that I've gotten all of that goody stuff out of the way, I didn't get a whole lot done between last night and today on the website. I will probably be getting quite a bit done tomorrow on the website. I'm going to go ahead and start adding in products tomorrow, even though we don't have them here, because the site's not, if somebody would happen to run across it, I don't have any links to it or anything. If somebody would happen to run across it or whatever, I wouldn't process anything. So, because we're not ready yet. So, more work to come. Again, tomorrow I'm going to be, at least my intention is to work quite a bit, get pretty much all the products listed, everything ready to go, and that way when we are ready to go, all I have to do is turn on the menu button. It's already in the back end of the WatchmanNews.com. All I got to do is literally click one button, and it will put the link here in the menu. So, that is a thing. Let's see. Trying to think if there's any more updates as far as we are concerned. I cannot think of any. It's been a pretty slow day here. Like I said, I've been just kind of trying to dig here and there. Not a lot of forthcoming information out there right now on Venezuela, which speaks for a lot. And like I said, the thing I find most important is that the people that have been so vocal up till now about Venezuela have kind of backed off and not said much. There has been some idiotic things said. We will be covering that when we go over the headlines. But most of that was said like yesterday and the day before. So anyway, let's see here. Let me get on the topic that we want to discuss. So let's discuss how much prepping is too much, how much is the right amount, and intertwined with that is how much is too much fear. Where should your fear level be? What should you be doing? Because here's the thing. You have to find a balance in between this stuff. And the reason why is we don't know. Whether you're just going by common sense or you're going by the good word out of the Bible, we don't know. We don't know when this stuff is going to come. The only thing that we know is, a rough idea, a rough gauge by watching different events. But nothing is certain with that. During the Cuban Missile Crisis, people were completely certain that missiles were going to start flying, and it came close, but it didn't happen. Okay, I was those that was pretty convinced in 2012 that we were in for a hell of a ride, and I won't say that nothing happened, because I do think that 2012 had some significance, but we're still here. Okay. How many times has Yellowstone been predicted to blow its top? Okay? So, we can't just say, okay, this is it, this is the end. Okay? And I think that is key to knowing on both not only how much to prep, but also how much to fear. Don't stop your life. Continue living your life. Okay? I've heard people give the indication that they would recommend people going into debt via loans, credit cards, whatever, to prep and get ready. I think that's a bonehead idea. I think it's a really bonehead idea. Now, I am of the club that thinks that whatever's going to happen is literally right there. We could reach out and touch it. I think it is right there, right around this corner. But I'm going to do what I can to try to prep as much as I can, as fast as I can. But I'm not going to sit there. I'm not going to don a ski mask and grab my crossbow and go into the nearest bank to try and get enough money to buy a year's supply of food or whatever the case may be, because that would be a boneheaded thing to do. I don't recommend people doing that through, well, we'll say more legal methods like going into debt. Folks, just you can't freak out about it. Jen and I, we're not in the best position in prepping that people could be. Okay, we got still. I haven't added to the food. We still got about 3.5 months of food. That's all we got. Other than the crossbow, we have no weapons. Okay. Let's see. We have little to no when it comes to medical. We've got a little bitty tiny first aid kit that's got some Band-Aids in it and some like 4x4 gauze pads and a little bit of medical tape, a little bit of Neosporin. I mean, I'm serious. That's like all the medical we have. But again, you don't see me out breaking into cars or mugging people or whatever the case may be. And there's a few reasons why. Number one, I'm not going to do something that is going to cause me more problems, being that something doesn't happen immediately. That's number one. And number two, I do have a lot of faith in God. I really, really do. I really feel like if I do my best to serve Him and to do His work, that He will see me through. And He has proven it. Over the last few years, I'm not the only one that lives in this house that sees that. Okay? He has always come through for us. Always come through. A lot of times it's through other people. I know where it's coming from. I get that. So don't do anything stupid. Don't do anything rash to get ready. That's number one. Number two, keep living your life. This is probably of utmost importance. Keep living your life. You may want to take extra precautions, but don't stop living. Okay? And what do I mean by extra precautions? Well, let's say that you go on a vacation once a year. Okay? I would continue to go on your vacation. If that's what you do, that's what you enjoy doing, go on your vacation. Just take some extra precautions. Make sure you take things with you that you may need to be able to get back home, for instance. Pack yourself an extended bug-out bag. Okay? So, definitely I would recommend you take precautions, but I wouldn't recommend you just cancel life out of fear. Not something I would recommend. I would be a little heightened in concern right now, right this particular moment. In my opinion, the forecast isn't green, so to speak. I would say that the forecast is pretty yellow. I would say it's pretty yellow, maybe going into orange. Not red, maybe yellow going into orange. There is definitely need for concern at this time. So I think that's kind of the most important aspect, is that you keep living life. Don't let fear own you, But if you have the ability to get ready, get ready. And if you really, really have the ability to get ready, I would say double time and triple time getting ready. If you do need long-term storage foods or foods, period, I don't know I necessarily do long-term storage foods in there, but if you do need food and you have the capability to get food, get it. Get on that. Get that taken care of. Any holes that you see in your system, you need to work on. And I would do it pretty quick. I would get on it pretty quick. It only takes the blink of an eye for everything to turn upside down. And, I've gone over this scenario a million times in my head, trying to figure out, because I'm a very, strategic kind of guy. And I sit there and I think, well, what's the best strategy for another country, not us, what's the best strategy for another country or countries to get us to stop what we've been doing for so long? And I come up with the same answer every single time. EMP. EMP. I tell you what, them lights go out. I think there's a lot of people, I think there's even a lot of preppers that underestimate the impact of an EMP. You know, there's a lot. I've heard a lot of preppers talk of, oh, well, it's not no big deal because, you know, and they've got a million reasons why it's not no big deal. But what I think a lot of people fail to really heavily consider, including preppers in this, is other people. And I think when it comes to the other people topic, it's highly underestimated. I've talked about, you know, prepper groups and numbers before, as far as like prepper groups, size of groups and stuff like that. And I'm still in the club that community is the absolute best bet, if at all possible. Of course, that's not possible for many, probably most. A community just isn't feasible. Either people live in too rural of an area to where you couldn't put together that kind of manpower easily, or you live in too populated of an area to where there's just no way enough people would be able to get in line on the right track, however you want to word it, to be able to build that community quick enough. Because unfortunately, we live in a country where a lot of people are complacent. They don't see this coming. They will totally reject the idea that something's coming. And then beyond that, if they even get as far as to think about, well, something could happen, they just automatically think, well, it won't be a big deal. Again, I think one of the biggest underestimations is other people. I know a lot of people that I've talked to, they want to keep their prepper group to around like 15, 20 people, and I think that's dangerous. I really think that's a very dangerous thing to do. And the reason why is because that's not a whole lot of manpower. Not at all. And you can start chipping away at that number pretty easily and pretty quickly. You know, accidents happen, people are going to get sick, people are going to get killed. 20 is not a big number. And every time that number drops, you're more vulnerable. You're more vulnerable. Plus, you know, at some point, you're going to exhaust your supplies, and you're going to have to replenish those supplies, namely food, which means you're going to have to grow food, you're going to have to raise food, you're going to have to be able to harvest food, you're going to have to be able to process food. That's going to take manpower. That's going to take people. And if you start out with a group of 20 and you wind up with 8, that's not a whole lot of hands that are going to have to do a whole lot of work. So consider that. But don't underestimate other people, because I see a lot of preppers, they talk about, you know, first off, a lot of them will dismiss the idea of roving bandits, roving marauders, or whatever it is you want to call them. I don't think that's a bright idea to dismiss them. I really don't think that's a bright idea. Human beings are resourceful. Human beings are resilient. And human beings can go through and accept a whole hell of a lot when pushed, when they have no other choice. I can guarantee you there are a lot of human beings out there that wouldn't think that they would even possibly eat a dog, for instance. But when push comes to shove and there's no other choice, they'll do what they have to do. That goes for other people as well. I know, gross thought, I don't mean to put that into your mind, but I'm just being realistic with you. The reason I'm being so realistic with you is because I'm trying to get you to understand that at some point or another, no matter how far off the beaten path you live, you're going to have visitors. At some point, you will have visitors. And you have to be ready for that. But again, like I was saying, don't live your life in fear. Just take precautionary steps. Do what you can today. I really do see an EMP in our near future. And as these events play out, especially in the geopolitical realm, I'm seeing it more and more likely every single day. So, as far as how much to fear, well, don't fear. That's a mistake in and of itself. You're very liable to make big mistakes if you're scared. If you're emotional in any way. Try to keep level-headed and calm. Think with logic. Don't fear. Get prepared. Get prepared. Learn what you can. And of course, prep what you can. But don't go out and put yourself in debt or anything like that to do so. I think that would be making a big mistake. Now, I also mentioned how much to prep. I would say as much as you can. Most of us, that's going to be in the reach of my voice, isn't probably going to be able to buy an Amazon warehouse full of stuff, okay? So I think it would be safe to say with this crowd, as much as you can, okay? Let me have a sip of coffee. Just try to balance it, okay? Try to make sure that you have enough supplies for water filtration to last you for how much food you have. Try to make sure you have as much toilet paper to last you for how much food you have. I know it's said it jokingly, but try to balance your prepping. Don't go too gung-ho in one area while you're totally ignoring another area that is just as important. I think the biggest thing with prepping is, again, I try to use strategy with most of my life. Try to prep strategically. A lot of us are intending anyway on taking some type of modern items with us, so to speak. Whether it be flashlights, whether it be, electronic devices. And, I have no problem with people making plans for that in their preps. Just make sure, again, you do it strategically. I wouldn't base a whole lot of prepping around items that use AA, AAA batteries if you can help it. Okay? Try to base around Li-ion batteries. Try to be able to utilize or charge by the 18650 battery platform. Now, there's a reason for that. Okay? Not only are they an excellent rechargeable battery, but you can scavenge them out of used laptop batteries. Okay? So if you take that in consideration, you can ideally be able to have access to rechargeable batteries for as long as a lithium-ion battery will maintain on a shelf. So literally, you're talking at least 10 years. At least 10 years. So again, I think the 18650 battery platform is a great platform, whether it is the device directly uses it, like say an 18650 flashlight, or whether or not you have a power bank that's got, that's designed where you can take the batteries out, using 18650s in a platform like that is a good idea, because again, the access, the availability of them. So most all of your laptop batteries, that's what they have inside of them. Is you pull the casing apart, be very careful in doing so. You do not want to short out an 18650 battery. It is not pretty. But a lot of them have 6, sometimes 9 of those 18650 batteries in them. So that's what the battery is made out of on my electric bike, is 18650s out of used laptop batteries. So 117 of them to be exact. That was a lot of tearing apart cases, I'm telling you. So, again, prep strategically. Don't let any of this overwhelm you. But I do think that we really seriously need to get ready. And I don't mean that just in a prepping physical standpoint. I mean in a mental standpoint. I do not see Russia backing down off of this. Likewise, I don't see China stepping down, backing away from this. And I do not see the United States stepping down or backing away from this. There's too much ego and pride in this country. Don't ever forget, pride goeth before the fall. Okay? And I think we're right there. I think that militarily we backed off on Syria. Not because ISIS was defeated, okay, but because I don't think that it was going to go over as easy as what they thought or is what they had been advised. I think that they ran into the same thing in Venezuela. I think that they thought that there was going to be a cakewalk, and it's not. It's not. Maduro has the love of his military, or most of his military. Maduro has the love of his citizens, or most of them. And, I think largely, not just Maduro, but the citizens of Venezuela just want the United States to leave them alone. So I don't think that was as easy as a cakewalk as what they thought it was going to be. They have tried coups multiple times, failed miserably. I have no doubt that the United States, no doubt that the United States was behind the blackouts that happened in Venezuela. That didn't cause enough insurrection to oust him. Okay, the people down there, they're not stupid. They know what's going on. So it's down to, some type of overt military type of action, whether it be an assassination of Maduro, which I kind of don't see happening. I'm not saying that they wouldn't try or that they wouldn't want to, but I think that would likely cause more problems. That's not diplomatically a very bright idea. Because I don't think that Russia and China would walk away if Maduro suddenly got assassinated. I do see possible invasion, and I definitely see, especially considering the FAA telling all American aircraft to stay above 26,000 feet, I definitely see that there's going to be some ordnance entering the country by air. So keep an eye on it. Keep a close eye on it. Don't let it make you live in fear. But I think it's definitely time, as I've been saying now for some time, that we wrap up the loose ends on our prepping. We get ready. Because it could be any time. It could be during our show. The lights could go out and it'd be the last time you hear from us. So, again, it's not out of fear. It's out of common sense. To me, prepping, being ready for something to happen is common sense. As I've said before, I don't just prep because of EMP. But we've got enough of our gear together and easily enough to grab that, if we had a neighbor start screaming that the place was on fire, for instance, I could start grabbing bug-out bags, bikes, trailers, and I could probably get all of that out in time, as well as hard drives in my computer tower. Those are, to me, those are primary items to get out. I could probably get all that stuff out in time before the fire got in this part of the structure, or probably even before the fire department showed up. So, and right there would give us some food, some clothing, transportation. You know what I mean? So, even an event like that, it could come of great importance. We could have a tornado hit, right? And as long as I can find our bags, we've got some stuff to be able to get by on, right? I don't like the idea of having to rely on FEMA, and I really don't like the idea of having to rely on the American Red Cross. I would rather us be able to rely on ourselves. So there's issues, of course, with both of the aforementioned. So I would just prefer for us to be able to rely on ourselves and then go from there. So be prepared for anything. Depending on where you live, you might have to deal with hurricanes, tornadoes, you name it. Any number of things. You might live in an area that's more prone to earthquakes. So it's not a bad idea, but don't live in fear over it. Anyway, let me go ahead and get to some headlines. I just kind of wanted to have that discussion today because you do hear me keep on about being ready and about being prepared, and I just wanted to really make clear that I don't want people living in fear. Okay, absolutely do not want that. Do not live in fear. Anyway, let me go ahead and read the headlines, and we'll go from there. So, I just seen Prepper Nurse 1. By the way, I will mention that Prepper Nurse 1 does have a sale over on his website, preppernurse1.com. Right now, this is good until tomorrow at midnight Pacific time. 25% off all the legacy food buckets. Now, in other words, if it comes in a bucket, okay, not the little sample packs, that's just the pouches, but anything from like the buckets. I think there's a 72-hour, 32 serving 72-hour kit that's in a bucket. I think that might be the smallest bucket, okay? But anything that comes in a bucket is 25% off. So, and then the coupon codes are at the top. You go to the Prepper Nurse, or go to preppernurse1.com. Up top, scrolling across, you'll see the coupon codes. I think that one's bucket 25. And then he's got another coupon code, Quick20, and that's for the rest of the stuff on the site, whether it be the legacy food stuff that isn't in a bucket or the merchandise that's on the site. It just reminded me, he just made a sale, and it looks like I'm going to be making a Shizzle Hits the Fan coffee mug and getting it out for a customer of his. So anyway, I just thought of that when I seen that order come in. So, Okay, here we go. Maduro announces day of dialogue to rectify mistakes and addresses crowds on May Day. And yes, I do know, I read that last night. I wanted to make sure to get that in this monologue too, because that is, I'm telling you, Putin is behind this. Putin is a very, very diplomatic person. He keeps a very calm head, and he thinks his way through things. That's just the type of person he is. And this definitely reeks of Putin. It's awesome. I think it's awesome. Sorry, I like the underdog. I don't like when big bullies meddle and interfere with smaller people, countries, whatever. I don't like that. So I will always root for the underdog. That's just me. Bolton mocks Maduro's bunker-bound cowardice on day he addresses crowds in Caracas. Now I shared that because wait a minute, I thought he was on the tarmac in a plane gonna flee. Now he's in a bunker? Wow. Now he's in a bunker. Let's see. I wasn't saying that Russia hides nukes. Fox News guest rebuts network synopsis of interview. What did I say yesterday? That's 2 days in a row, by the way. 2 days in a row. I called it out, hit the nail on the head. 2 days in a row. So, yeah, there is that. Unwanted children will be killed anyway. Alabama Democrat sparks uproar with pro-abortion argument. That is a pretty crazy statement to make. Homelessness at record heights in New York City, report says. NASA workers told they can be sacked for leaking footage from test sites. I'm sure that's kind of common sense, isn't it? Qualcomm expects to receive up to $4.7 billion from Apple settlement. A little chunk of change. Another arm of the war machine, Twitter users angered over blue tick for Guaido account. Yeah, Guaido gets like a verified Twitter account, right? And absolutely mind-blowing, okay? Twitter suspended the accounts of many of the legitimate government, right? They suspended their accounts. But Guaido gets a verified account, especially at a time where I thought they weren't verifying accounts. But hey, guess it depends on who you are. Contrary to international law, Mogherini slams U.S. full activation of Cuba embargo law, vows counter steps. Julian Assange extradition to U.S. case adjourned until May 30th. Still salty about losing. Twitter users stunned by Hillary calling for China to hack Trump. Remember back when they were campaigning and Trump made a comment about it'd be nice if, I think it was China, had Hillary's emails? Now, he was the devil for saying that. And people were, some people were screaming, oh my God, he just told them to hack us and all that, which is not what he said. But, yeah, this is insane. Really. I'm telling you, the political climate in this country is just overboard. And speaking of abs, May 30th. My birthday's the 19th, by the way. Woohoo! 47. Sucks. But oh well. From nuclear warheads to gravity tractors, how well are we prepared for an impending asteroid? So RT had kind of did a report on that. Pepsi to drop cases against Indian farmers accused of infringing potato patent. And I have to say a big high five to the people of the planet, because I have no doubt it was probably pressure from just regular individuals like yourself and I that they got them to change their mind on that. Because that I'm sure a lot of people looked at that headline And they were like, are you serious? Monsanto did the same thing. Now, I don't know if Monsanto dropped their case, or I think Monsanto pressed their case, but I don't know if they won or if they lost. But essentially, you know, with Monsanto anyway, it was because some of their plants pollinated some other plants that weren't Monsanto plants. So Monsanto sued the farmers for patent infringement, as if they could have stopped the pollination somehow. So unbelievable. Well, that's essentially, I think, what was going on here with PepsiCo, but they dropped the case. That's a good thing. Assange says, I do not wish to surrender myself for extradition for doing journalism. And I would agree. I think this is absurd. I think it's absurd what's happening to him. People in yellow vests outside UK court where Assange hearing held. Cocaine found in shrimp, new study reveals. So you want to get coked up, just go buy yourself a bunch of shrimp. No, they found all kinds of stuff, all kinds of pharmaceutical drugs, all kinds of stuff when they did the testing on shrimp. Russian and U.S. positions on Venezuelan crisis are incompatible, says Lavrov. You think? 800,000 evacuated as extremely severe cyclone Fani bears down on India. Dumb and Dumber, Laura Ingraham slams chicken-eating Democrat. That's a whole stupid story, too, that... come on. I mean, these are supposed to be the people that represent us, right? And insane. And it goes for both sides of the aisle. The insanity is on both sides of the aisle. Right there, though, that's the left. Don't trust anyone, convicted liar Abrams tells Venezuela's Maduro. Yeah, the guy that, you know, had initially been trying to put Guaido in place and get this all going, now is trying to be a buddy of Maduro and saying, you know, you can't trust Russia, you can't trust China, you know, you be careful who you trust. Trying to instill doubt, right? Because that's how you create weakness, is by instilling doubt. Pentagon says 120 civilians killed worldwide by U.S. forces in 2018. Human rights organizations beg to differ. Yeah, I would beg to differ too with that number there. 120, right? 120 worldwide by U.S. forces. Hell, the police kill over 1,000 people a year on average in the United States. U.S. citizens, right? U.S. citizens. It's crazy. Yes. The police in the United States kills more of us than what our military kills, in most cases, terrorists. Is that insane or what? I mean, because we're not full-out war in Afghanistan and all that good stuff. You know, and I'm not talking about drone attacks where you push a button and wipe out 200 people at one button push. I'm talking about boots-on-the-ground combat, right? They're killing, the police here are killing more of us than our military kills actual terrorists via boots on the ground, combat overseas. To me, that is astonishing. Astonishing. Trump tweets his Fed pick is no longer running hours after Moore says he's in. Apparently, originally he said he was in. I don't know what happened, but within a few hours, he was out. So, don't know what's up with that. We need to end the Fed anyway, so I don't know why we're trying to pick somebody to run it or even be a part of it when we need to be getting rid of it. WikiLeaks editor denied entry to Ecuadorian embassy to retrieve Assange's belongings. Officer charged with assault and shooting at Ladue Crossing Shopping Center. That was the incident that I spoke of, to where now the new claim that a lot of them, when they shoot somebody and it's an unjustified shooting, now a lot of them are claiming, oh, I grabbed the wrong weapon. I thought I grabbed my taser. So that's the claim that she's making, and there's pictures going around of her all teary-eyed, and yeah, that don't, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You won't get any sympathy from me. None. None. So if you can't tell the difference between a taser and a pistol, a gun, maybe you're doing the wrong job. One's bright yellow. Typically they have a much larger handle than the handle of their firearm. Usually it's pretty obvious which is which. I don't buy it. Don't buy it. Not for a second. That's just like saying, stop resisting, as you're beating the hell out of somebody that's unconscious and they couldn't possibly be resisting. But yet, you're yelling, stop resisting. Facebook and Instagram ban InfoWars, Milo, and Farrakhan as dangerous. I'll tell you what, that is dangerous. Doing that is dangerous. Do I like InfoWars? And they used to be awesome. Not so much anymore. Do I like Milo, however you say his name? No, not really. Don't follow the guy a whole lot. Don't know a lot about him, but he's a douchebag mouthpiece, right? From what I have gathered. Not interested. Just not interested. Farrakhan, too much race baiting there for me. Too much race baiting. He said a few things that, I'm completely in line with. A few things that, in fact, the one where he blasted the media, that is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. But as far as the whole big picture, nah, I can't say that I'm 100% behind Farrakhan either. But do I think that they need to be removed from Facebook or any other platform for that matter? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Let them speak. People will do themselves in. I mentioned Alex Jones, right? Alex Jones has really done a good job of doing himself in with his craziness that he goes on into now. He's done a pretty good job of destroying himself, right? Another one, Pete Santilli, done a hell of a job at destroying himself. Yeah, he's still got some of a little following, but for the most part, he's destroyed himself, and he will continue doing so until he learns to tell this little thing called the truth and stop scamming people. So, it is what it is. It's a truly free market will regulate itself, okay, and that works whether it's in media or whatever it is. A truly free market will regulate itself. Let's see. United as never before, Maduro leads military march, thanks Army for loyalty. And lastly, Senate votes to uphold Trump veto on ending U.S. support for Saudi-led war in Yemen. So they weren't able to force that through to make them stop supporting the war in Yemen. And that's crazy. We really, really, really need to put an end to that madness. It really, they talk about how they're so worried about the citizens of Venezuela and the human rights catastrophe in Venezuela, which, by the way, the U.S. is causing by all the sanctions and all that stuff. But yet Yemen, hell with those people, because we're the ones giving Saudi Arabia the weapons to put them in the position they're in now. It's absolutely mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. And I do have one other thing here I see that I need to get put out there. Digital gulag, jeers and cheers after Facebook purge of Alex Jones, InfoWars, Farrakhan, and others. So, crazy. Let me tweet that out real quick. And get it on the old Facebook. You can't see those other windows. But that's all I'm doing. Putting it out on Twitter and Facebook real quick. And there you have it. Okay, that would be the headlines. We're going to go ahead and get on with the rest of the show. If you're here for the live show, stick around. Don't go anywhere. Don't do anything. We'll be live till 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you're just here for the monologue or you're watching the recording thereof, thank you very much. As always, God bless you. We love you, and be one with your spirit.